Yep, his disappointment may be valid, but not sure it's an excuse for having the worst player efficiency rate in the NBA for the month of January. Stephen A., though, you made some comments about Dan Gilbert yesterday that picked up some steam. What more do you want to add about Gilbert and the Cavs in that situation?
Well, first of all, I want to say that to the folks out there that wanted to misinterpret, be idiots if you want to. I have no problem with it whatsoever. That's why I have this platform. I don't mind calling you out. I happen to believe that I'm somebody that has a strong command of the English language, that I could articulate and elocute myself clearly. I did not say that Dan Gilbert, oh my goodness, he's going to trade it. What I said is that LeBron James, I have been told, LeBron James is of the mindset, why should I sit up there and re-up for 3 to 5 years with this man when the man is going to probably try and sell a team after I sign up? Because the team is far more valuable with me on it than it is with me off of it. That's what I'm talking about. So we don't know whether or not Dan Gilbert is going to definitively sell the team. What I'm telling you is that part of the reason LeBron James wasn't apt to re-up and commit for years to come without any guilt or any apologist attitude whatsoever is because LeBron James is of the mentality that benefits you. How does that benefit me? I'm a businessman. I understand how this works to your benefit if I were to re-up. But what if I were to re-up? Then you could sit up there and go and sell the team, get a boatload of money. I mean, after all, you got teams being sold. The Clippers were sold for $2 billion, for crying out loud. Imagine what the Cavaliers with LeBron James would be worth. Why should he do that unless it's in his best interest? That is what I explained. It's still possible that Gilbert may very well do that because you do hear that from time to time, that he might think about selling because this is a guy that wants to be in Michigan. That's where most of his success emanates from. He wouldn't mind owning the Pistons, et cetera, et cetera. But in the end, there's no evidence out there whatsoever that definitively states Dan Gilbert is going to sell the Cavs. We don't know that. I just know that I was told it's one of the things that entered LeBron James' mind as to why should he commit long-term to Cleveland.
Well, I have a solution for LeBron if he thinks that. Why don't you go find out from Dan Gilbert? In fact, why don't you make a backroom deal, highly illegal, by the way, against the rules, but this is the way a lot of business is done. Why don't you make a backroom deal with Dan Gilbert? All right, man, I'll stick around 3 to 5 years, whatever. I'll spend the rest of my career here. If you sell me the team, let's agree on a price. I'm going to front a group, and I'm going to be the next owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cut a deal. You know, I mean, the problem with LeBron right now in terms of his public image, Stephen A., insofar as there is a problem, and people, you among them, maybe foremost among them, saying, don't let him control the narrative. Maybe there's grumblings around the league that, you know, he's not liked because of that, because the sense is that he's a prima donna or and somehow wants to be controlling of everything and is not being authentic.
They think he's phony.
Right, I don't agree with that, but okay.
Some critics
people know him better than me, obviously.
I don't agree with it either. I don't know that, but that's what they say.
Right.
Some have said that about LeBron.
But here is an issue, and it's related to our previous topic, Stephen A., like with the Isaiah Thomas thing, because when LeBron James says, hey, you could have gotten Paul George, what he's really saying is, Isaiah Thomas, what's up, man? You're not playing like $1 or even a 50-cent piece. We traded $1 for you, right? It reminds me, Stephen A., of Mike D'Antoni as a coach with the Lakers. You know, Kobe wasn't buying in. He didn't have guys who bought in. So the attitude was he threw up his hands and walked away. He's like, all right, I can't do my thing with this team, so, you know, what can we do? That's not what a coach is supposed to do. I mean, when D'Antoni has Harden and guys who buy in, he's amazing, right? But when he doesn't get buy-in, what does he do? Part of coaching is getting buy-in. You get the guy. You do what you have to do to get the star to buy in. You don't just walk away. That's team building. Phil Jackson, at his best, would talk about this extensively and write about it extensively and practice it even, though not, you know, most recently. The point is that's what LeBron James has to do. The whole thing about, well, I don't want to commit to Cleveland or throwing IT under the bus a little bit, you know, by bringing up the Paul George stuff. That's throwing up your hands. This isn't working, throwing up your hands and walking away. Now, I know in one respect it takes a lot of nerve to make that claim about LeBron. As I just said, 7 straight finals appearances. He always seems to figure it out. But, okay, the going is rougher than it's ever been, LeBron. What are you going to do? This is the crew you got. That's how it's going to be. So do you want to try to make it all work? Because it's going to be on you or not. Or throw up your hands and walk away.
Let me come to LeBron James' defense in this, though, in this respect. I'm not going to view it as throwing IT under the bus. If the Paul George, Eric Bledsoe thing was talked about before IT arrived, the Paul George, Carmelo thing that I heard about was talked about before IT arrived. So even if LeBron revisited that, it's not about throwing IT under the bus. It's about lamenting what could have been had Dan Gilbert not gotten in the way by firing David Griffin, particularly before the draft.
If Isaiah was balling, it wouldn't come up. If Isaiah was balling now, it wouldn't come up.
But I think that basketball players are going to be reluctant to point the finger at IT so early when you consider the fact that he just arrived. Now, had he been playing since October, Max, and didn't have the hip injury and he was playing badly, then you would have a point. But I don't think LeBron or anybody else is looking at Isaiah Thomas right now and saying, oh, my God, this is a disaster, blah, blah, blah. You know enough about basketball to know he's only been back a few games. The brother averaged 28.9 last year. You know he can ball, and you're going to give it time. So I don't think it was about Isaiah Thomas. I think it was about Dan Gilbert and Dan Gilbert's willingness to get in the way of what would work because of what he wants. And I think that's what LeBron James may have been lamenting more than anything else, assuming that's what he lamented recently.